Hello, my name is Greta Harrison. Welcome to Born Fabulous Podcast Season 3, Episode 7. The theme of this season is young adults with intellectual disabilities living full lives of independence and interdependence. You will hear interviews with parents, support staff, and of course the young adults with intellectual disabilities. Please note that these interviews were done 1 to 2 years ago. Achieving independence is a complex journey for many individuals and families. There were many stops and starts with various entities when putting together Season 3. Regardless, this content is very relevant and we hope you will find it helpful. This is the second of 3 episodes that feature Kayla McKeon and Elyssa Stallcup. Elyssa is Kayla's mentor, good friend, and roommate. Kayla is well known as the first professional lobbyist with Down syndrome, a sought-after keynote speaker, a podcast host, a Special Olympics athlete and champion, a tireless advocate. She does all of this with her own mixture of grace and spunk. Please enjoy this short clip of The Ring. The lyrics are by Melissa Riggio, a young lady who had Down syndrome and was the focus of episodes 1 through 4 in Season 1. The music and voice are by Rachel Fuller.
And so I came back to the center of the ring. Am I just a broken angel? God has sent me here to heal, to be an ordinary woman.
Now, how do you tackle things like cleaning, laundry, and cooking? How do you tackle those things?
So with cooking, we do work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, unless one of us has a plan, like, oh, I'm going out to dinner. That means we come up with recipes collectively, and we cook together. So we'll clock in with me, and we would, like last night, we made chicken wiggies. It was a little spicy, but it was very good. But we do that. We have a short shop.
So,
Oh, I love it.
yeah.
Look at that. Wait, hold that up. Hold that up again so I can get a picture of that, because that is great. Okay, so you have a chore chart. Okay, and does that like change periodically?
It does.
Yes, it changes every week. So this week I'm gonna vacuum. So next week Elyssa will vacuum and I Windex. When she Windexes, I do it the following week. So it's interchangeable every week.
Yeah. So I vacuumed this past week. She's gonna vacuum next week. And then we rotate. So this week she's got the this past week, or this, because we start our chore chart on Mondays. So the next week, so starting 8/21, she'll have to vacuum, Windex, dishwash, or do the load the dishwasher
and unload the dishwasher.
Well, actually, we both load the dishwasher, but unloading the dishwasher, that sort of thing, starting it.
Start and finish. And we clean our bathrooms.
Yeah, and it just switches.
Right.
So,
except the bathroom.
Yeah, the bathrooms. Yeah, we do our own, respective bathrms.
Correct.
So, yeah,
You guys are very equal across the board. I love that.
we try. I try.
When if either of you decide to get married, you're going to already have this in place, and your spouses are going to have to be equal. I can tell that right now.
We're gonna have to make them follow a protocol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's great. What about laundry? Do you just do your own laundry or what?
We do our own laundry, but we don't do it at the apartment because it costs $1.50 to do it here. So we just take it home because A, is free, and B, we get to see our parents out of the deal. So,
Okay.
It works out even better.
Okay.
Yeah. And I sometimes, so I do my laundry mostly at my parents' house because it gives me an excuse to go see them. I like hanging out with my family.
Likewise.
But sometimes if I just sometimes if I just want to get it done, I'll do it here. But that's not very often. So
But I like the way you both still want to be with your family some. You know, you have your independence, but that doesn't mean you don't ever want to see your family again. So you
Right. We love seeing our family.
Right.
So sometimes, like, and we do this, like, so one day she'll spend the night at her parents' house. So she'll let me know, like, hey, it's Sunday, I'm going to spend the night at my parents. Or text me and get back to the apartment. So we have a schedule of, I'm here, and she's at her parents' house. Or vice versa. I would tell her when I'm at my parents' house and I'm spending the night. That so we have an idea of what our schedules will look like.
Okay, and obviously, one of you doesn't want to go MIA and nobody knows, so you do kind of keep in touch with each other. Okay,
Right.
and then is there anything that you want to share with the audience that either of you need help with that the other person helps you with?
I helped Kayla with some of her chores. A couple weeks ago, I helped her,
That's my fan.
with dusting your fan, and it's hard to get up into it's that thing, the overhang where the curtains hang down, and it's that thing that holds the curtains. So between that and the wall, it's hard for her to get. So I helped her with that.
She's the best.
And sometimes, if I notice that there are a few spots in the dishes she cleans, I'll help her,
You remind me, and then I try my best.
Yeah.
And then if I can get it, then it's a collective effort.
But yeah, I'll step in and see how she's doing it. So that way we can figure out ways to improve so it doesn't, happen again.
Or accumulate.
Yeah. So.
And Kayla, do you help her?
We've been just trying to send this here.
I love it.
Kayla, you help by putting out our coffee cups.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every day when I lived with my parents, I always put out coffee cups for my mom and dad. And just carried over to the apartment where I'm taking out her coffee mug, my tea mug. I don't know why. I just find it soothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's comforting for you, right? It's a little routine.
Yeah.
I love that. Now, what about, and if you don't want to answer this, that's fine, because I can cut and edit this, which I'll have to edit this right now anyways. But what about with finances? Does anybody help you with finances at all, Kayla? Like, balancing your account or anything like that?
So normally I take care of my own checking account. I carry X amount of money with me, but if I do need help, it's normally my parents that help me. My mom is my repayee, so we always do that together.
Okay, and speaking about help, this is a good time to talk about supported decision making.
Sure.
Kayla, you have a supported decision making plan, correct?
I do, yes.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So with the agency advocates, it's all supported decision making, which means it's always my plan. What do we want to do? I know I have chores to do. Elyssa will check it over to make sure they look good. Oh, I see them as a little spotty. Let's double check that again. But normally, we always go out for coffee. So we're always taking some coffee place out. We do crosswords. Back then we used to do book club, which we're gonna try to bring back again. So it's always what I want to do. And if something like I love walking, so with another mentor, I will go out and take a nice long walk. So it's always what I want to do, and we go and do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it because I'm now incorporating my boyfriend in the plan. But if I find out, I like to talk about him a little too much, and I need them to remind us. So I just be like, hey, there's a little too much on the love life talk. So I know I have to bring it back to, this is what is really going on. Bring it back to, like, let's talk about your work life. What do you do with the other mentors? Oh, you're knitting. What are you knitting? So coming up with different topics and not just the boyfriend, if you know what I mean.
And and I want to make sure I understand the supported decision-making correctly. The supported decision-making I'm thinking about might be a little different than what you're talking about. You're talking about something with the agency you work with, correct?
Correct.
The supported decision-making I'm talking about is something that anybody can do where they form a circle of support around them. They have sometimes family, but more often friends and other people in the community that they can rely on. But maybe one person for advice on money, one person for advice on relationships. They have people they can call on, and they meet periodically. It could be once a year, every quarter. Okay, so does yours work like that? Does yours?
It does, yes. Now I still have my circle, but we haven't meeting like that in a while. And it is actually made up more of my mom's friends than retired teachers. So it kind of works itself out. But exactly, it's where we do come together, we do brainstorm like my Aunt Julie, for instance, said, she's a public speaker. Let me write some letters, see what school she can get into to speak. So it's exactly what you're thinking.
Okay, where they're putting their heads together to help. And so if you have a situation come up where you need help, there's certain people in your circle that you can go to. I mean, obviously you have your roommate who you adore, but you don't load everything on your roommate. There's other people that you can go to for help, right?
Yes, because I love my parents, I would always go to my parents. I know I can always talk to all this stuff. Other friends I can always go to. That's not a problem for me.
And we talked about this last week. But she after she was done vacuuming, I told her, Kay, you can also like do a chore with another mentor, so that way,
it's not all on you.
So I'm not the chore checker, I'm not because I want to make sure she's doing these chores right. But she's got a few more other supports, that can help her, that can give her tips on what to do, how to do it, that sort of thing. So,
and I have a mentor every day, and my Tuesday, Thursday is consistent. My Monday, Wednesday is consistent. And with school, I would like to have that consistent mentor to help me with my schooling. And then Fridays is one of my favorite days because I'm Elyssa.
Yeah, so sometimes it doesn't always.
You can edit the favorite part out if you want to.
It doesn't always fall to the Monday, Wednesday person to help her with her schoolwork. Sometimes I have helped her with her, with like essays, meteorology. Meteorology. That was a tough class.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Kayla took the tough classes.
Yeah, that was that
was very tough.
She got through it.
Too much math.
But it doesn't all fall on me, and it doesn't all fall on, the other mentors either. So I think it's pretty equal.
It is.
Well, this is also a good example of in New York State, there are strong supports.
Yes.
That help with independent living and interdependent living. Not every state has that. No. So people need to see what works. And obviously this works. It also works for Micah. I mean, Micah Fialka-Feldman lives near you.
Yes,
so
he does.
You know that, and he's also got strong supports that help him live independently. So yeah, that's
so I know he has a sister that he can rely on. Sorry to say, I don't. I always find a sister in my mentors.
You're right. He has a sister he can rely on, but the biggest thing that he relies on is his circle of support. And his parents have had that in place since he was in school, elementary school, they started that. So he's been relying on that a long time. So that's great. So what are some of the pluses? What do you love about living where you live now, living together, being on your own? I want to hear from each of you.
Okay.
You stop.
So the pluses are it's quiet. So I have 3 brothers and a dog. But one of them is in the military. So technically I lived with 2 brothers for a while.
And they are differently able.
Yes, they have autism, but so it was loud in there, when I lived at my parents' house. So at first it was weird to move out and experience the no noise, but I'm used to it now. I have my own space. I can organize it the way I want it to be organized, so those are pluses. Also, we have our show time where we'll pick a series to watch. We've watched New Girl, we've watched Cable Girls, we've watched Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. Now we're on Flight Attendant. So yeah, what do you think, Kay? What are your positives, or what are your pluses of living away?
I like living away, but I love seeing my parents. Please don't get me wrong, but I love being able to appropriately make my own rules. Being able to have the freedom to be able to cook independently. Being able to showcase what anybody that is differently able, they can't live on their own. It is a good thing to get your independence and have your freedom and being able to do something that you want to do. And I was just moving to Washington. That was hard. But being able to live here in Syracuse locally, which is much better, because I do have that. Where I can commute to my parents. I can take a walk to go get a cup of coffee. We have a plaza near us where we can walk over, and so it's just nice to be able to walk in this area. Sometimes it is quiet, and I like it.
So, what are the downsides to living where you are? And I don't mean the actual location, but I mean being on your own. What are your downsides? Are there any downsides?
I didn't think of any downsides. There's sometimes I just miss my parents, but I know that I'll call away, so I know I'll be able to, hey Mom, what's up? So I'm always calling. I do call my parents a lot, but sometimes I just miss them and I don't talk to them often. But that's pretty much it.
Elyssa, you're missing your family?
Yeah, of course I miss my family. I don't really visit them during the week. I'll text them.
Mm-hmm. Same sometimes.
But I see them and communicate with them less during the week than Kayla does. Because Kayla calls her parents every morning. That's just not something that I do with my parents. But I do. That's why I think, it's important for me to spend the night, on Sundays over there. Just because I miss them, so that part I do miss, I like it. I don't know if it's fear of missing out, but when I've been away that long, I wonder what they've been doing without me sometimes. But yeah, that's all.
So does your brothers miss you?
Oh yeah, Christian and Daniel. Mom told me that Daniel missed me last week. But yeah, that's a downside. I have a dog, that back at the house that I love, and we formed a bond with during COVID. But now she is my mom's dog. She used to be my dog, but now she's my mom's, as in she follows my mom everywhere. So
is Bella.
But that's it.
So Elyssa, I want to ask a little bit about you and how you got to the position that you're in.
Sure.
What led you to the position that you're in? Okay,
so 5 years ago, I was graduating college. My degree is in linguistics, And I didn't really have a plan for what I was going to do after. And at the time I worked at a shoe store, and there was this pair of people that came in, and I thought they were family. I thought they were, I can't remember, I thought they were mom and son. But they left after getting their shoes and everything. And so the mom came up to the register, or the person that I thought was the mom came up to the register, and she started talking about the agency a little bit. And so when they left, my assistant manager and I were talking about that, and I had told her, I didn't know what that was. I had no idea there were jobs where you could help people with disabilities, and she's like, yeah, that's totally a thing. They've got a bunch of agencies. And she told me about the one that she was going to start working at, which is, so that was great because right near me. And, so basically so when I heard it, she said, you take your individuals out into the community, you work on goals with them, you do whatever they want. I'm like, I do that already because I have two brothers who are on the autism spectrum. And, if my parents need me to do something, I'll, hang out with them, or, I'll just hang out with them on my own accord, so I thought I already do that, so I would be really good at, helping other people. So I put in my application in April of 2017, and I started getting onboarded in May. And that's when, brokers started calling me, figuring out, who I would be compatible with. So yeah, and that May was when I met Kayla and, my other individuals. But yeah, that's how I came to work here. So, and I've been working with advocates for 5 years. So.
And normally with advocates, you would interview mentors to see if they are compatible with you.
Right.
And I know families have done it themselves, not me. I like to run my own interviews. So I interviewed all 3 of my mentors. I interviewed Elyssa. I think she said I just made you sweat, but it worked out because this is who we all know.
Yeah. I also had to do a preliminary interview with the chair, or I don't know what her title is, but I had to do a preliminary interview, and I told her my background, and she said, "Oh, can you write all this stuff up that you're telling me about your brothers? Because, this would be great for families to see when they go to it, when they are picking people to interview."
Mm-hmm.
So, I wrote that up, and then, yeah, that's when, brokers started contacting me, for interviews. So, yeah.
And sometimes with onboarding, it takes a little while because background checks, fingerprints, and a lot goes into onboarding with the agency. And actually, that's how I lost what I'm not now. But years past is how I lost a mentor, because the process can take very long. And that's how I lost one, but gained 3 wonderful mentors.
For me, it was
A few weeks.
It wasn't that long. I remember being at an interview and the broker saying, this is one of the quickest onboard that we have. The background check came back really quickly. So
Thank you for listening to the 7th episode of Born Fabulous Podcast's 3rd season. I hope you enjoyed it and want to hear more. Short video clips from most episodes are available on our YouTube channel and on bornfabulouspodcast.com. In episode 8, you will hear Kayla and Elyssa discuss the shortage of mentors, healthy communication, tips like the 5-4-3-2-1 rule, advice, and more. Their organic interactions and support for each other are models for all. Please follow and like us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd be honored if you would leave a review wherever you heard this podcast. Now, please enjoy this clip of The Ring. The lyrics are by Melissa Riggio, who was the focus of Season 1, Episodes 1 through 4. The music and voice are by Rachel Fuller.